Welcome to R&R Living Life. We begin this episode as we make our way to Bright, hoping there were fewer people than last visit, when we had ventured there from Dargo about a month ago. But being a Sunday, heavens only knows. From Myrtleford we continued along the Great Alpine Way through Euroban and Porpunka to Bright in northeastern Victoria, sitting at 319 metres above sea level. The town is nestled at the southeastern end of the Ovens Valley, beside the Ovens River, surrounded by majestic mountains. Bright has a rich cultural heritage, and many locations within the town, along with the street names, can be traced to present-day residents, with the streets lined with deciduous trees in their colourful autumnal splendour. Hamilton Hume and William Hovell explored the area in 1824, naming the Ovens River. The town was first known as Morse's Creek, but renamed in 1866. During the Victorian gold rush, there was a rush to the nearby Buckland River. As gold deposits gradually diminished, Chinese miners arrived in the area to sift the abandoned claims. Tensions over Chinese success from Anglo-Irish miners caused the violent Buckland riot in nearby Porpunka in 1857, resulting in deaths of Chinese miners and 2,000 Chinese fleeing. It was then back to Freeburg, a rural locality southeast of Bright. The Mount Orient mine ran eastwards towards Freeburg. It is thought that German miners bestowed the name Freeburg to the area, with the highest volumes of ore crushing occurring during the 1860s, though mining continued until the 1900s. The Ovens Valley is about 500 to 800 metres wide at Freeburg, and the limited agricultural space was later disturbed by gold dredging, with sites on the eastern side of the road subject to dredging until the late 1950s. From Freeburg we took the Toowoomba Gap Road to Germantown, a small rural locality on the way to Mount Beauty. The road allowed us to cross the Ovens Valley to the Kiewa Valley. We stopped at Sullivan's Lookout at Toowoomba Gap, with stunning views of the Kiewa Valley towards Mount Beauty and Mount Bogong. After being amazed by the views, we continued on to Mount Beauty, nestled at the southern end of Kiewa Valley, in Victoria's high country, with its stunning backdrop of Victoria's highest peak, Mount Bogong, at 1,986 metres. The town lies alongside the Kiewa River, at the junction of the Kiewa Valley Highway and Bogong High Plains Road. Mount Beauty was originally established in the 1940s as a base for workers on the Kiewa hydroelectric scheme. Since then, it has developed into a popular tourist town, surrounded by the Alpine National Park, featuring lakes, forests and snowfields in winter. The Kiewa River, located in the Alpine bioregion, flows continuously all year and is part of the Murray catchment within the Murray-Darling Basin. The river rises near Clover Power Station on the slopes of Mount Bogong, with the main river formed at the confluence with the Kea River East Branch and West Kea River, before being joined by 11 minor tributaries towards its confluence with the Murray. From Mount Beauty we made our way back to Toowoomba, the oldest colonial settlement in the Kiewa Valley, where pastoralists sought out rich pastures in the fertile valley dating back to the 1840s. We passed through Coral Bank, with numerous no lithium mine signs, nestled amongst the mountains of the Kiewa Valley, such as Mount Toowoomba and Mount York, with an elevation of about 293 metres above sea level, to then follow the Kiewa River to Running Creek, past chestnut trees and cleared farming and grazing, with a stunning mountainous landscape, including parts of the Australian Alps. From there we took the Running Creek Road that became Happy Valley Road at the top of the range near Cancuna, where there was a bushfire memorial with community reflections of the 2009 Mudgegonga, Beechworth and Alpine Shire bushfires. While many Australian ecosystems are adapted to fire, alpine vegetation and some threatened species have a low fire tolerance. Across Victoria, the Black Saturday fires threaten numerous ecological communities, including ash eucalypt forest, cold temperate rainforest, and subalpine bog communities, with close to 50 listed flora and fauna species known to inhabit the fire area. From the bushfire memorial, we continued down the windy Happy Valley Road, close to the pinnacles, to the serene-looking Happy Valley, with its rolling, undulating hillsides, fertile pastures, farms, vineyards, and Angus studs, bordered by ranges of pine and ash eucalypt forest. We passed the Happy Valley Hall in Rosewhite, opened in 1929, one of a number of halls that are the only infrastructure to mark the locality of a once larger community. The hall is the only tangible link in the area to the soldier settlement schemes after World War One. We continued on past the Happy Valley Hotel, built in 1854, that sits at the junction of Happy Valley Creek and the Ovens River in Ovens, and Peppo's Farms, where we could learn about why their special hull-less pumpkin seeds are different from anything that we would find in the standard supermarket. I had been captivated by the stunning scenery and agricultural farms we had seen along the way. That afternoon, as we walked around town, we could see that Myrtleford thrives on its agricultural roots and regenerative forestry, and equally celebrates the diversity of cultures that have settled here with creativity and flair. The post office opened in 1858 as Myrtle Creek and was renamed Myrtleford in 1871, while the road through Myrtleford was once called the Buckland Road. Today it is known as the Great Alpine Road. The old town was shaped by pastoralists, gold seekers and timber mills. The initial settlement of Myrtleford and the Ovens Valley followed the gold rush, with Chinese migrants establishing tobacco and hops farms, a path later followed by the Italians. A large number of Italian migrants arrived in the 1920s, taking up work in the tobacco industry as share farmers or property owners, and saw Myrtleford evolve into a major tobacco growing centre. After the Second World War, a second wave of Italian migrants arrived in the area, and the tobacco industry boomed, leading many to purchase their own farms and establish their families. The community established a unique Italian rural culture with a distinct presence by the 1970s, marked by a strong connection to the corrugated iron tobacco drying kilns, with many still to be seen around town. Tobacco was a major crop grown in the area until the closure of the industry in 2006. The old tobacco farms have since been transformed into vineyards, hop farms, nut groves, berry and kiwi fruit farms, apple orchards and olive groves, while beef and dairy cattle remain a big part of its agriculture. During World War II, from mid-1942 until its closure in October 1946, Number 5 Prisoner of War Camp was established near Myrtleford, primarily to accommodate Italian prisoners of war, specifically officers and their batemen, a soldier or airman assigned to the officer as a personal servant. These men had been captured during the North African campaign, with many permitted to work on farms, contributing to the agricultural labour force until they were repatriated or became immigrants to Australia in 1946. The following day was an exploring day, leaving Myrtleford at about 9:30 to begin the Millawa Gourmet Trail, Australia's first gourmet region, centred around the townships of Oxley, Millawa, Tarrawingi, Mirkwood and Wirrooly. We began by travelling along Snow Road to Millawa, with the scenic mountain range in the distance as I looked out across the paddocks. Millawa is a thriving semi-rural community and a small service centre, servicing the surrounding farms and wine-producing areas. The heart of Millawa is the crossroads at the junction of Snow Road and Factory Road. European settlement of the area began in the 1840s. Then, in 1858, George Brown, who would go on to create Brown Brothers Millawa Vineyard, arrived in the district. The Emu Inn opened in 1861, forming the heart of Millawa. Rick and I stopped at the Millawa Cheese Company for some cheese tasting, our first ever endeavour, even though neither of us are cheese lovers. With 9 different award-winning products, including a distinctive creamy blue, a washed rind cheese, and Millawa Gold and King River Gold cheeses, it was an opportunity not to be missed. Not only was the assistant who talked us through each of the cheeses friendly and informative, but I can honestly say that I thoroughly enjoyed tasting the cheeses and came away with a couple for later. From there we drove past Brown Brothers Winery, but decided not to stop, as we had other country we wanted to see. We took the Snow Road to Oxley, an agricultural village situated on the King River, known for its wineries and as a gourmet food region. Then it was on to Moyhu, in the King Valley region, known also for its agricultural activities, particularly viticulture, as the area is renowned for its wine production. The town is positioned where several creeks enter the King River, hence the area is flood-prone. The fertile district was settled by Dr. George Mackay, who took up a pastoral run in 1838, with the area opened up for selection during the late 1860s. From Moyhu, we continued on to Greta, stopping at the cemetery to check out where Ned Kelly is buried, as I had mentioned in last episode. Though no grave is marked, it is interesting reading some of the early settlers in the area, generations of them, and in the corner a lone policeman who died as a result of being thrown from his horse in 1871. Rick and I often check out cemeteries, as they often give us an insight into the towns we were visiting. The original Greta district was located approximately 15 miles from Benalla and Wangaratta, hence the name 15 Mile Creek was given to the major waterway that ran through the generally lush district of rolling plains and gently sloping hills. The main industries were dairy farming, cattle and sheep grazing, horse breeding and sawmilling, and where there was water, tobacco and hop production. The former township of Greta declined after a main road diversion, but the broader district remains a strong community with a rich heritage. After spending time wandering the cemetery, we made our way out to Laceby and then back along Snow Road to Oxley, where we stopped to have lunch. It was then back to Millawa and on through the locality of Mirkwood to Everton, a small rural community on the Great Alpine Road, passing another human hovel monument. We then made our way along White Post Road towards Upper Everton and on to Beechworth. By now I was well and truly lost, but was looking forward to seeing Beechworth, another town famous for its gold rush history and its association with Ned Kelly. As we drove into town, we crossed Newton Bridge, constructed from granite in 1874 over Spring Creek. Gold was discovered in the area in 1852, leading to a boom that left a legacy of preserved gold rush architecture, such as granite buildings and elegant historic shop fronts. The post office was built in 1869. The former Bank of Victoria, now a gold jewellery store, dates back to 1857, and there are several historic hotels and churches located in the town centre. The area was originally used for grazing by the settler David Reed and was sometimes known as Mayday Hills until 1853. Gold was discovered at Spring Creek in 1852, attracting over 8,000 prospectors within 11 months, and with such an influx of people led to the rapid transformation of this remote area into a thriving town. The wealth from gold funded the construction of numerous buildings, including the banks, schools, shops, and hotels, as well as a prison and hospital. After the gold rush from 1867 onwards, the town developed other industries including timber, hops, grapes, and tobacco, with agriculture becoming a significant part of the local economy. Rick and I wandered the historic and cultural precinct comprising the town's old courthouse, telegraph station built in 1858, the town hall, a museum, and a dark cell, which at one time housed the infamous bushranger Ned Kelly. We enjoyed our stroll around the picturesque town, with streets lined with deep stone gutters and lush trees in autumn colours of golden, yellow, rich reds and vibrant oranges, and decided that we would need to revisit this amazing town to fully appreciate what it had to offer. We took a drive along Gorge Road past geological features and relics of the region's gold mining history, stopping to check out the Powder magazine built in 1859. We enjoyed the scenic views towards the Beechworth township and countryside to the west from a couple of large granite outcrops behind the Powder magazine. On our return journey to Myrtleford, we stopped just south of the small town of Stanley at the Murrungi lookout that gave us sweeping views across the cropping and grazing lands of the Murrungi Basin, taking in the Ovens Valley and stretching from Mount Buffalo to Mount Buller on the horizon. I have to mention, yes, Rick had found another gravel road to enjoy, though the views from the lookout were spectacular. As the sun began to make its way closer to the horizon, we made our way back to Myrtleford. Our day was not finished as we stopped to check out the phoenix tree sculpture that was carved out of the trunk and roots of a huge river red gum by sculptor Hans Knorr in 1986. Part of the root system is said to resemble a phoenix rising from the ashes, hence the name. What an amazing day it had been! History, architecture, a huge variety of farming enterprises, stunning country, magnificent scenery, and much, much more. We will leave you as we pack up to leave Myrtleford, to make our way towards Tallangatha, where we will stay for a couple of days exploring the area. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Give us a thumbs up if you have. Join us next time as we explore the Tallangatha area, cross the border into New South Wales at Cancoban, and again begin to follow the Murray River. Stay safe and enjoy life. Cheers for now. Rick and Rosemary. R&R, living life.